it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and I am happy to be here on Mystery Card Monday, October 18th, 2021. Tonight we're going to do some cards together. I posted the layout of the pieces that you're going to need if you want to play along. And so let me recap those real quick for you. You're going to need a piece of cardstock in your standard size. That is 5.5 by 4.25 once it's folded. I might do a couple of them this way, or I might do them this way. Haven't decided yet. You're going to need a layer, which is 5.25 by 4. Did I say that right here? This should be 5.5 by 4.25, and this is going to be 5.25 by 4. So it's going to layer onto there. Okay, like that. And then you need a piece of patterned paper where the front and the back are coordinating. So that's important because we're actually going to cut this paper and flip two of the pieces. So you want those papers to kind of match. Usually they do, but there's the odd time when the pattern really doesn't match. And when your orientation is obviously up and down, then you want to have those pieces fitting, and you'll see when we cut it how that's going to work. All right, so this piece is 5 by 3.75. So if you were just to slap it right on top of the card, you would have a bunch of layers like that. The other thing you need is some kind of a label. It can be a circle, a rectangle, a triangle, a square, whatever you wish, to go in the center of the card with your greeting, and then whatever embellishments you want to add to it. All right, so if you're here live, please let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you. I love to know that you're watching along with me. And if you're watching the replay, do let me know that you stopped by. I'm going to be posting my 4 cards that I make tonight and the 5th one that I made ahead of time to this, not this particular thread, but on the page, and then invite you to post your projects if you played along. And I do draw a prize when there are people who are posting their pictures, so please do that. I love to see what you're working on. All right, let's get started, and as we see people pop in, I will, do some recap if we need to. All righty, so starting with my card base, this first one's going to be Bumblebee. It's a yellowish color, and what I did was I chose my patterned paper first, and then I built my other layers around that, my card base and my layer around that. So I've got my card base folded and scored, ready to go. I can go ahead and stick my layer down. This is Misty Moonlight. And when I put it down, it's going to have a thin border all the way around. And then you're going to see how the pattern paper fits in and has even more of a little border. It's quite a really cool little technique. So there we go. I think it's all about math and angles and geometry and all that stuff. Right? It's stuff we all learned before, but until you saw practical use for it, like card making, you wouldn't have known how well these triangles all work together. All right, take your piece of pattern paper. Mine is directional, and I'll show you when I'm ready to put it together why that's important. And I'm going to stick it into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it from corner to corner. Okay, very simple. I just stick that in my paper trimmer track, get the 2 pointed edges in the track, and I'm going to cut it in half like this. So it was together, and I cut it in half. Now I want to cut it the other way from the other 2 corners. It's already cut though. I want to cut from here down to here. So I have to kind of hold them together. So I'm sticking them back in my track, lining them back up as if they've not been cut at all, and I'm going to gently hold them together while I run this down the track. And now I have 4 triangular pieces. That's the 2 on the right, and that's the 2 on the left. Okay, so if I was to glue them back together, that's the way they would go back together. I'm going to keep the top and the bottom ones, this one and this one. They need to go upright because that's the way the pattern is on the paper. The other two, I'm going to flip and use the opposite side. They are fine to be flipped because it doesn't matter about the pattern on them. And I'm just going to glue them down on top of that one layer that I did. Super simple. Looks complicated, like you might have had to specifically figure out how to cut these angles, but by having a piece of pattern paper that was 3 3/4 by 5 going onto its layer of 4 by 5 1/4, it all fits. And if you don't glue it down perfectly in the center, we're going to hide it with a greeting anyway, so we're golden. This is really easy. Now you don't have to flip the left and right or alternate them or anything. You can flip whichever ones you want. It just seemed like with these papers that I've picked that this would be the way to go. So no fancy cutting other than corner to corner. And then when you flip your pieces, just make sure you're going to have a triangle that does not have all 3 sides exactly the same. So you just need to put it together like a little puzzle, leaving space in between so that your pretty pattern or pretty cardstock shows up behind it. It makes you look like you actually cut and layered all these pieces, but you didn't. Super easy. So it does kind of matter if your paper is directional or not, and it kind of matters if your two papers that when you flip them, that the two front sides, front and back, actually match up nicely. Okay, so that's what it looks like. How cool is that? So I just cut it from corner to corner and then corner to corner, flipped these two and kept these two which were in a directional orientation. Sweet. Okay, now for the fun part, I'm going to add a greeting. And on these nights for Mystery Card Monday, I try to use different stamp sets so that I can try out different ones and maybe ink up a few that haven't been used. I might just say that from time to time I could have a stamp set that hasn't been used enough or at all, and we want to avoid getting to retirement date and then realizing we need to go ahead and ink it up, right? There you go. I always have this goal when I get a stamp set to make at least 4 cards with each stamp set, like pretty close to when I purchase it, so that A, I have samples, and B, I'm actually destined to use it. And try not to use the same images or specifically the same greetings. It's not a perfect science, but it works. So then I grabbed a bunch of different ribbons because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. On the larger greeting pieces that I've cut, I can easily wrap the ribbon around the back and have it attach with some adhesive. Or I could take some twine and maybe go all the way around it, around the card. But I just kind of grabbed some things that I thought would be suitable, and then I'll get my embellishments out as well. I love this greeting. You are strong, brilliant, and beautiful. So perfect to send to a special person who needs to be uplifted or needs to be reminded. Okay, I want this to kind of come down here a little bit. Get my greeting and my ribbon going. There we go. So we'll just trim off the edges, the excess. I think I need to clean my scissors because they have a little bit of adhesive on them. And then grab my dimensionals, pop this guy up. I took a little break last week. It was Thanksgiving Monday, and it was just a good time to have been with my family, as I hope you enjoyed yours on the holiday weekend. And we did our dinner on Thanksgiving Monday. There we go. Okay, this little end needs a little more of a haircut. But I'm back this week. Tomorrow night I have a Technique Tuesday. Again, 6 o'clock. You'll be able to see the replay. And I have a new technique idea to share with you that involves ribbon. So you'll need some ribbon to do that one, but it is really easy and very effective. So I definitely want to show you that. All right, now I'm looking for some kind of embellishment to add on this. And we don't have any. The paper I'm using uses Misty Moonlight and Bumblebee, and I don't have any of those specific embellishments right now. We do have some squared off ones, but I think what I've chosen is in the blue shades and will work lovely. There we go. And it has a little bit of gold with my ribbon. All right, so there's my first card done. And I will show you all these when I'm done, the whole mystery card Monday. Tuck those back. I'm not going to use those. And I'll go on to the next card. So my next card is with the Beautiful Expressions paper. It is gorgeous. So back to the paper cutter. Before I do that, I want to put my stamp set away. Back to the paper cutter. I want to take my pattern paper, cut it on the diagonal from corner to corner to make 2 triangles. And then I'm going to hold them together or push them back together and go opposite corners, corner to corner, to make a total of 4 even triangles. And you know, you could use the same technique and just cut your paper up. It doesn't have to be in triangles. You could cut your paper up and still put it back together again on your layer. So this one hasn't got a specific pattern. This one is marbly looking paper. So I've got a lot more freedom about where I want the sides, and in fact, I think I may do the card in a portrait orientation. It just lends itself to a little bit of different layout, and that because I don't have to worry about the direction of my paper. This way. Just can't decide if I want which side I want showing up. Do I want it this way or do I want it the other way? It depends where the marbling is, the gold marbling. Yeah, I think I like it that way. Okay, so I'm going to start by gluing 1 triangle down, leaving that little bit of space. There we go. Get this one in place. So we have had quite the fall day today. In fact, I actually turned the heat on during the day because I was working from home in the basement, and oh my, was it cold. It really was super cold in here, and so I knew I needed to turn the heat on and blast it up. I even opened the vents because I forget that in the summertime rather, I close the vents downstairs so that the air conditioning can do a great job on the main level. Don't have to worry about that. Because we really don't need much air conditioning downstairs. It's nice and cool down here in the summer. But today, yes, definitely needed to add some warmth. So that's what we did. And it was, I think at the high, it was 12 Celsius. tomorrow's supposed to be warmer at, I think, 17 or 18, last I checked. And Wednesday, it's going to be up to 20. So a nice little bit of warm, more like September weather coming our way, at least for where we live here. I like this paper piercing back. So I don't know that this has an actual technique to it, but it's just a fun way to use your paper. Okay, so now, what did I choose to go with? I thought I chose a gold ribbon. Perhaps not. That's okay. And then I want this one's going to say best wishes, this greeting, and it's from Artistically Inked. That matches the paper that I'm using on this one. And I'm going to put the best wishes on my circle. I've already gone ahead and stamped my circle, die cut my circles out, so everything's ready to go. Most of the greetings in this are pretty sort of long and rectangular, but I'm going to use that best wishes. That's a little more even all the way around. And I'm using a bright color called Polished Pink. No, wrong. This is Magenta Madness. For real? Yeah, it's Magenta Madness. Don't use that color often enough. I prefer Melon Mambo, but this is one of our ink colors, and I find it needs some darker colors to tone it down a little bit because it's a very bright pink, as you will see. So it's one of our ink colors that came out in 2020 and will be in the line at least until May of 2022. My goodness, I can't believe I'm saying that. 2022. Holy mackerel. Impossible to believe. Now, what can we do with this one? Okay, so for this one, for the layer, I can actually tie the ribbon around and do a bow or a knot. Because I haven't glued my layer down yet. I think it's time to definitely do more ribbon technique videos, because you get going using the same thing all the time. It's good to have a change. So this iridescent ribbon is called Glittered Organdy. It's white or clear, really translucent. And it has all these purpley little flecks on it. But you know what? When you add the pinky purple, when you add them to other colors, it really changes the look of that ribbon. It can go with so much. I'll get my dimensionals out, ready to pop this guy up. So this is a great ribbon to use with lots of different papers. So when I have the back that I'm looking at through in this very dark green called Shaded Spruce, those circles look green. But when I flip it over and get them near the pink, they actually go back to looking pink. It's an optical illusion, but a nice one. Get you out the way. Okay, so that's on there, and then I can just add my circular greeting, which I may actually put a little off center. That'll be good too. And when you're putting a greeting over top of ribbon, I usually try to not have my dimensionals hit on the ribbon, but actually go on either side of the ribbon. That way it sticks to the paper and the base and doesn't just kind of shimmy on that ribbon or pivot on that ribbon. Now we need some kind of embellishment. I found that the polished pink goes very much, the jewels, the ink-colored jewels in polished pink really do look nice with the Magenta Madness as well. I find the pink is really close in color. All right. So we will, how did we do that one? How did I do that one? I did, oh, okay, I see what I did with that one. I'm trying to do something a little different, but there. Okay, there we go. Nice and sparkly. I like that. 20 minutes in, I've got 2 cards done. Yay me. Next up, more of a fall colored card with Cajun Craze, which is a color I really do like. I find others don't like it, but I like the fall colors. They work for me on a couple of different levels. And I want to use this other ribbon here, some twine this time. So let's grab the paper trimmer. And we'll get cutting corner to corner. Oh, having some streaming issues, close unused things. Okay, I can do that. Close some other apps I'm not using. And see if that helps and improves things. Okay, so on my DSP, I'm going corner to corner. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and line up the other 2 corners on the trimmer. Push it back together and cut it out. So if you didn't see that from the very beginning, you might need to go back and get that instruction, because that sounds very confusing, doesn't it? So I'm basically cutting this piece of 5 by 3 3/4 into 4 triangles. 2 the same and 2 other ones. Okay, so here's my Cajun Craze, which I think I'll need to grab a piece of white to stick on the inside of it. I have a piece handy right here, because it's pretty dark as cardstock goes, and I want to make sure that it's all set up for me to do the writing in it. And I'm ready to send the card. I found if I just leave them all with the dark card bases, and then later I want to use the card, I have to do a lot of cutting. So do them as I go, right? If you're a card maker, I wonder if you cut your white or vanilla or any color cardstock, but I know lots of people who cut their white and vanilla into, and take a whole pack and cut it into quarters ahead of time. I have never done that. I cut as I go, but some people like to do that. Now this paper definitely has no pattern to it. It is all kind of over the map. But I think the 2 larger triangles have the most amount of color, so I'm going to have them be prominent on this card. And then the smaller, basically smaller triangles are going to be in the back side of it, which is a blue. There we go. And this is great if you want to use liquid glue. It's really easy to glue these pieces down, and if you're not quite spot on where you want them to be, you can easily push them into place. There's a little bit of play with the liquid glue. Are you a liquid glue person? I definitely am. Doesn't mean I don't use tape runner, but I do like the liquid glue. Works for me. Oh, hey Diane. Thank you for popping in. I hope you're doing well out there. Saying how we're having quite the fall day. It was 12 degrees during the day. It is 6:30 and it's getting dark out there. The sun just drops out of the sky these days. Okay. Did I not cut I didn't get a piece of cardstock. So I have some white here right by me. And I think I'll use this punch. And the stamp set I'm using on this card is Beauty of Friendship. It's a lovely bundle, one of the first ones I wanted to get in the annual catalog when it came out. Just called today. Yesterday was 19. Ooh, nice. Well, we were 12. We are getting up to 20 by Wednesday. Fingers crossed. So that will give us another little taste of summer again. I'm wondering if this greeting will fit in here. No, it's a little bit too big, so I will go with this one. And use my Cajun phrase. There we go. You truly inspire me. Let's see. Yeah, this bundle, Beauty of Friendship, has gorgeous trees and bushes. If you like the sort of nature look on your cards. Oh, thanks. I will. Oh, hi, Barbara from Victoria. Thank you for popping in. I will show you my sample card for this layout tonight. Really simple, really easy. You just take your pattern paper and cut it corner to corner, and then push them back together, put it in the paper trimmer and cut corner to corner again. And you get 4 easy triangles. It makes it look like you cut them a certain size and cut the borders a certain size. Nope, it's an optical illusion. And then I have some twine to go with this one. Yeah, I think I'll wrap this one around. It may fit. So this twine is Misty Moonlight in white with some silver. And it comes from the Flowers for Every Season pack. But I find it's really, with the colors that are in it, and there are the in colors, it really is one of our twines that I like with the silver on it. Okay, let's try tying a bow, because you can do 100 of them when you're not talking, and the minute you try talking and doing bows at the same time, it doesn't work. There we go. That's a little better. And then You Truly Inspire Me. Now I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take a piece of my scraps. So I keep my scraps in these plastic sleeves, and I can't tell you where I can tell you where I got them, but I don't think they carry them anymore. Dollarama had them. This is the thinner version, but I actually have some that are like 11 by something. They hold like almost a whole sheet. Anyway, I bought a whole bunch of them, and they're great for holding my scraps. So you could do the same thing with paper trim, with page protectors, or they're a little more expensive, but there's ones that are for work orders and jobs in a business that Staples sells. And it just keeps them from getting too crinkled. I mean, they get crinkled, that happens. So what I'm doing with my second one in Misty Moonlight is I've punched this out. It's the same size as my greeting, right? So I'm going to cut it in half and split it, so to speak. I'm going to cut it in half, so I have 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight, and then I'm going to glue it onto the back of the white, and then it's going to look like it was bordered. Or like I have 2 punches that are pretty much the same size. Oops, let's get it going the right direction. It works on our punches, especially the ones that are like label punches. Oops, squeezing a little bit too much. As I get my liquid glue to work there. There we go. And now I can add some dimensionals on the back of that, because I found I had an awful lot of white space on this card and thought, well, this will just take that away a little bit. Okay, we'll get this guy on. Oh, I just finished telling you about putting your dimensionals on the top and the bottom, and I put them along the side. So let's add some dimensionals again in a better position. I'm going right over top of the twine, so I'm going to put my dimensionals on the top and bottom like that at the center. I found that the tailored tag punch really goes nicely, I think, with this, with this layout. Okay. Fix up my bow a little bit. It's a little bit messy there. Trim the edges. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Super easy cards. This is something I think even my team would like to do for team card night. The whimsy card. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I did reply, Diane. I'm so glad that you saw it, and you being the person who made it also saw it and was able to allow me to go ahead and give you credit for that card. I'm sure your name was on it and I misplaced the envelope or something of that nature, so I'm just really glad I got a chance to do that. There's nothing worse than putting a card up and going, now where did this one come from? Okay, I am looking for something to go with this. Oh, I know what I can use. So we have these gems called Artistry Blooms Sequence, and I don't even know what the colors exactly are, but you know, sometimes it just catches the light in a different way, and I find that this can actually look like Cajun Craze. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put some of these sequins. They've already got adhesive on the back, which makes them a real joy to work with. There's no sticking some glue down, trying to figure out how they're going to work, and how they're going to sit. There we go. And I can put 3 on there. Right, I will show you all the cards, I promise, at the end. But yeah, these come in a pack of, I can't even remember. I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe packages. It's quite a bit. Let me look it up. Artistry Blooms Sequence. How quickly can she find her embellishments? Not bad. So $9.50 in Canada for 200 adhesive back sequins. They don't come in these. These are the die packets that now come with nothing on them. So I repurposed them because sometimes some of the sequins and embellishments come in a package that doesn't reseal, and so I just pop them in there and then they fit in my holder together. So they go a long way. 200, that's a pretty good deal. All right, tuck those away. One last card. Those supply lists were still on my desk. Oh, I remember you saying that about something about the supply lists. Yes, yes, yes. I remember that now. It was such a pretty card, Whimsy, and I received a number of beautiful Whimsy cards, and I thought, well, I'll never be able to put them, like, I won't have time to show them all by showing a variety of different cards, so I'm just going to take a week, and I'm going to show off all of those, 7 of those 10 or so cards that I received from people. Very, very nice. That's a paper I did not purchase. It's a bundle I did not purchase. So it's really nice to have other people's creations to share. Okay, here we go. So I've cut it one way. So that's what we're doing with the 3 3/4 by 5. Is you put it in your paper trimmer and you cut it corner to corner. This is on the pattern paper. And then you swoosh it back together. So here I am. I've cut it corner to corner. Then you put it back together and back in your trimmer and you cut from there to there. And that's how you get the triangles. Easy, eh? I'm all for easy. Sometimes I'm stumped and sometimes I'm looking for other card ideas or looking for a specific stamp set, and I come across one and I go, oh, that's definitely a layout for Mystery Card Monday, because it looks like one that you can do with just about any kind of paper. Okay, so what are we going to do with these pieces? Which way are we going to put them? I think they need to go horizontal. No, I can go this way. Yep, yep, there we go. Cool. Yeah, well, I kind of thought sometimes to just sort of put them all in the same week. Usually I go ahead and do a nice variety of cards, either ones I've made or the nice ones I get in swaps, which are great because then, oops, there are other stamp sets and things that I don't have. Because I always think I have a lot, but then I realize there's a lot in the catalog. Okay, here we go. That one there. And then this piece down. This morning I had my community living class. So this is a group of folks in that go to a day program. Right now, because of COVID, many of them are having to tune in on the Zoom call for the class from their homes, if they live with their families, or the group homes if they're in a group home setting. And I used to go and visit them like face to face, and I really preferred that. But this is a good alternative. It's kept us all crafting rather together. So it's one Monday a month from 9 till 9:45 maybe, and over Zoom. And we made, I'll show you, before the end here, my friend Elizabeth Green, Diane knows her, she's from our Silvers group. Elizabeth designed this idea, and I kind of made it my own. I'm trying to see, where is it? Because it should be on the table here, because everything's all spread out and kind of messy. I'll find it before I sign off. Where in the world did it go? Oh, here it is. I'll show you what we did. So it's our tombstone boxes, and decorated the front. That's a little different than Elizabeth had done, because in this group, because it's kits, I do very limited stamping because I know they wouldn't be able to stamp that anyway, so they would need my help. And everything is applied with dimensionals, because, or glue dots in this case, because that is the kind of glue that they can work with. And so this is the general idea of what Elizabeth had done, but I kind of made it my own so that it would work for this group. So this kind of folds out, and then we also decorated the back. So that gave them all a lot of steps to do, and they're all on with dimensionals. So this box is really thick. This box is just over 1 1/8 inch, but it has this piece that folds in and closes, and you could still put some chocolate or something in there. You could still squish something in there. So they loved it. They loved this project. It was so cute, and then it could sit up on your table. And then we also did a card, and once again, because it's a kit, no stamping in pre-made kits. Those are all the different things that I did. I kind of had it with the picture this die's idea, and just punched out all kinds of images from the paper, and they made a little card to go with. So that was our project this morning. And I had, what, 10 people? It was good. It was fun. Fun time had by all. Okay, so this time I'm going to use the hand-penned stamp set, or sorry, hand-penned petals. And I'm going to use the thanks with Highland Heather ink. And then I'm going to punch this out with my double oval punch. I've already punched the scallop one with Highland Heather. And now with the white, I'm going to slide this in down to the oval without the scalloped area. Punch that out. Yes, thanks, Barbara. I got the idea, as I said, from someone else and just kind of made it my own. She did a YouTube video on it, and my My people loved it. We do, all the projects we do for community living are always 3D. They may be wall hanging or banners or Christmas cards. Next month we're doing a former paper pumpkin kit. And what's it called? Piece? Yeah. That is no longer current. Actually, I bought the French one when it was on clearance, and I'm going to substitute with a Merry Christmas stamp because I know I have oodles of them. So they'll all get all the pieces to make, I think there's 8 or 9 cards in that kit. And so that's what we're doing next month. That'll be a big project as well for everyone to do that many cards in one sitting. But they have a helper or one of the staff is there to assist everybody. All right, almost done this one. And then I'll pop them up. I'm also going to do post these on my page, all 5 cards, and invite you to post yours if you've gone ahead and played along, or even if you do them afterwards. I just post them. And I do have a prize, but you got to post for someone to win a prize. A small prize mailed to you from me saying thank you. Okay, what goes with this? I think rhinestone basic jewels would be nice. I love to see what you do with these layouts too, because everybody does a little different. They can be intriguing. Now, I don't use my large rhinestones a lot. They don't get quite as many in the pack, but I'm not as big a fan, but on something like this, I think that really adds some sparkle. I prefer the medium-sized ones. I don't know, just what I gravitate to, I guess. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Because my cards are done. 42 minutes, right on schedule. Okay, if you're still with me, here is the original one that I did. You're Sweet as a Peach. And that's our, I want to call it Sweet as a Peach paper. That's not what it's called in the catalog. But you know what? When I look at this card, like, it's really just flowers. I don't really think of it as peachy. It is called You're a Peach Designer Series paper. But really, it's just flowers, right? It's not too peachy. Then my next one I did was this one. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. It's been in and out of the catalog, or in on and off back order. It's called Expressions in Ink, and I use the matching greeting from the artistically inked stamp set. Really gorgeous. Then I did, oh, actually I think these are out of order, but that's okay. This is Nature's Harvest paper. A little more earthy in look, and those rhinestones are actually a blue. They're the blue adhesive backed gems. And then this one this is this is Cajun Craze, so it's earthy as well with those branches and the blue from the flip side. And that's the one I did with the tailored tag and cut it in half to make it look a little bit less white space, a little bit more blue. And then my last one, a thank you card and some rhinestones on there. All right, I hope you like these. Thank you for watching, whether live or on replay. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back next Monday, but before that, I'm going to be here and doing Technique Tuesday, or about to hear Riley bark. No, maybe not. He held off. How good is that? What a good boy. Tomorrow night, Technique Tuesday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to show you a technique with ribbons. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.